From our experience of working with children, rescuing at railway stations, we have seen that 15% of the children who have left home, their reasons were directly linked to school and what's happening in school. And these are primarily, there are children who are not able to cope with education, but they are sort of forced to go to school again and again, children facing bullying and abuse, but they couldn't really get a solution at home when they even share about it, discrimination at school, and then children are not able to do well in exams. They are afraid of getting back to the family with when the exam results out, and then they just leave the family. So, at one end, we are saying that there is education plays a push factor of children leaving their families. On the other hand, we have also seen that after reunifying children back to the family, and when we do follow up, we have seen that out of 100 say children who have continued to stay back with the family, almost 63% of the children have got back to the school and are continuing the education. And if I also include the children who have joined a vocational training, children who are above 15, 16 years, joined an vocational course and continuing the course, it's around 2%, around 65% are getting back. And there we have seen that they are continued follow-up of 1 year or 2 year. We're able to see that they are continuing to go back to school. But the larger issue is, third and the final point, is that there are the rest of the children, like 15% and the rest of the children, they're leaving because of several other push factors, which is related to they not feeling safe, or they being forced to work because they have to contribute to the family income, or they're being trafficked. So there's a huge spectrum of protection issue. So just to conclude, education, from our experience, I would say that is, it can actually play a push factor of pushing children out of families into an unsafe situation. And but if it could be leveraged, it can actually also help children get reintegrated with family and community. Just in November, in Darbhanga railway station, we rescued 2 children around 13 years old. And so after having spoken to the children for a few minutes, so the outreach workers got to know that they had actually left the home because they had started to go to school because the schools have opened. They were actually finding it hard to cope with the new routine of going to school daily. In addition to that, they were finding it difficult to cope with the classes. And one fine day, one of the boy had a fight within the school, and he saw that the teacher actually scolded him, which he thought was unfair. And so he got really offended, and then he decided to leave, and he asked his friend whether he wants to accompany, and then they both decided to leave. They landed at Darbhanga railway station, and right now, the team is working with them. They're living in a childcare institute there, in a government-run childcare institute. The team is working with them. So the kind of conversations we're having now is that if the reunification has to happen, like we have started to speak to the parents and so on and so forth, this whole context has to be addressed. The school has to be a part of the discussion, parents, of course, inevitably, and then children being at the center. So that's one context. So I'll talk about another experience, which is in 2019 pre-COVID scenario. So we rescued a child who was around 16 years old in a railway station in Salem, and this was the second time we had rescued. So then the workers started to get deeper and understand the issues in depth. So as Dr. Nair had said at one point in time, that it's just after the rescue, it is important that the kind of quality time that we spend with the child and get to understand the depth of the issue, as what also Preeti also had mentioned, to understand what is really making the child live again and again. So the second time around, we got to know that the child was in 11th standard, wanted to continue the education, but the mother wanted the child to take up a job because the family was going through economic crisis. So they thought that it would be additional income. So there were a lot of conflicts, and the child one day decided to leave, and then was reunified. Then again, few months back, the same child decided to leave. So second time around in the reunification process, then the team took that time to work with the child, with the family, with the school, and of course, child welfare committee was at the center of this whole discussion. And an elaborate follow-up plan was put in place. A family support plan was put in place, and then the unification happened, and we had to really follow up for a long duration time to make sure that the child continued to finish the school and get to the college. And there were issues in between, and what really helped was that to stay in touch with the family and the child for a longer period of time. So two different scenarios: one where the experience in school pushing the child out, other where the child really wants to continue the school. And so when that is made sure, then the child sort of gets back to the family and continues to stay back. So this, as I said, in our experience, we've seen that school education per se acts as both sides of the coin. Now, quickly, a few points on this is that, again, I want to remind that this is only 15% of the children for whom school education is somewhere a reason where they are pushed out of the family. And so this whole process revolves around school education per se. The second important point, which is quite critical, is that from our experience, what we have seen is that majority of the children whom we have rescued, like almost 85% of the children have been going to school. Either they have dropped out at some point in time, or they are continuing the education while they have left the family. And most of them are first generation learners. So I'm looking at this with the fact that most of the families from where these children come from are daily wage laborers, landless, agrarian laborers, small business, and they all are living in difficult circumstances. But at some point in time, the families have made an effort to get children education. So that's a key point that would really help us when we work with the families and children after reunification in the context of reintegration. And follow-up has showed that children who have continued to live with families, a large number of them have continued to go back to school. So as Preeti had said, the children who are dropped out of the school, there's high chance that they will slip into street life or child labor or get into other forms of risk. So that's something that's broadly seen in the sector. Now, this is about only education and children who are rescued and reintegration. But largely, if you see, there are children who are leaving for work. For example, when we work with children in Salem, there are a group of children who are leaving Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Bihar, and they end up in Salem district to work in certain factories around. So there, family reunification is seldom a option, because as Dr. Nair had said, the children go back to the family, then actually in a different route they come back to the work. So there, a very concerted source to destination area network based reintegration process has to take place, where multiple stakeholders have to converge and work with a single focus of reintegrating the child. It has to be it has to be the DM of the Salem, the DM of the particular location in Chhattisgarh that work together, the child welfare committees, the NGOs, the NGOs which is rescuing there, and the NGOs which is working there on child protection issues at a community level, all at different level have to come together to make sure that the child is reintegrated. So here, getting back to the school or vocational training or supporting the family becomes incomplete unless and until there is a concerted network-based reintegration work that happens. Just to conclude, we did a study a few years back on children who have been reunified and who have continued to stay back, why they have stayed back, and children who have, after reunification, have left. So what are the reasons? So what we learned is that specifically in the case of where children have stayed back, there are 4 key reasons that emerged. One is when children went back with greater resilience, they were able to cope with, because most of the children were actually getting back to the same difficult situation which the family was living in. But they actually had gone back with increased resilience. So when a work was happened to increase the resilience of the family, the child continued to stay back. Second is when the child got back and developed an attachment figure within the family, the child continued to stay back. Third was when the child got back to the school and enjoyed going to school, the child has stayed back. And the fourth is when the child felt that the life alone in street was more riskier than in family, the child has stayed back. So, I would like to conclude here.